another beautiful day at the Tesh Farm Eco Campus at the June Walker Memorial Greenhouse, our demonstration garden. It's November. We've been collecting seeds. Our members have been collecting seeds. And now we're going to be starting some of the plants that are the hardest to, they just take longer to propagate. We have with us today Karen Sellers and Tommy Guidry, who are working on potting up some of the seeds that Donna recommended we start early. So it's November now. We hope they will be ready for us for our spring sales. It's all right.
So Tommy's going to start just filling it up all the way and just kind of overflow it. Just keep. Yeah.
Now, if somebody doesn't have this kind of tray for seedlings at their house, maybe they could just use some little...
They could use 4-inch pots. I think that's what Donna said would be fine too.
Yeah, so anything they have before it goes in the recycle bin. And that mix we're using is just called propagation mix. We buy it in bulk, but you could buy it at your local nursery.
Just overflow it, Tom. You don't have to worry about covering up all the holes. Just overflow it.
You'll notice that somebody donated a baking tray, and that helps us kind of conserve our potting mix. So if you have one at home, you sure can use that.
This was Lawrence's little trick. After you get it all filled in, then you take this and then just press it down all the way like that.
Oh, nice.
And then you probably see that you need to fill it up a little bit more.
So we want it fairly compressed, don't we?
You do. Like that. Okay, maybe one more time, and then that'll be probably good enough.
Okay.
So, okay, this tray is almost ready. We're going to go ahead and put a little bit of water in it. Makes it a little easier. Just going to... see if I can do it. Okay, I'm going to just give it a little bit of water, wet the soil, and then we're ready to put seeds.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to do the wild yellow indigo, baptisia, whatever.
Sphaerocarpa.
Okay.
So I just want to point out, you notice how Lawrence, the details he puts is very helpful, because common names are nice and we're guilty of just putting that sometimes, but the scientific names are what we need. So okay. Karen, what did you say? You're thinking about...
Not sure how many seeds to put in each pod, but let's see how big the seeds are. Okay. What do you think, Tommy?
I would say 2.
2. Okay.
And yeah, if you really have a whole lot, then I'd put 3. But I think...
Can you open this, please?
I think 2 would be plenty.
Do like this, I guess. Usually people use pencils, but I think this will work. Good morning, Sam. Okay, so
you're making a little bit, disturbing the soil.
And I'm just going to put a few in. Like that, maybe 2. I think I'll do 2.
And that's kind of insurance, because we never know exactly what the fertility is. So if it's 50%, then we'll probably just have 1 in each one. Right. So I heard Donna say recently, or it was something I didn't know, but that the bigger the seed, the depth that you plant the seed depends on how big the seed is. Oh, so if the seed is really small, it just stays on top. But if it's big like a buckeye, you put it that deep in the soil.
So I'll just cover it up a little bit, and I'm just going to continue doing that. Go from one row to another.
And Tommy's making some more pots. And there's Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Good morning. Watch this technique.
So I know y'all don't, not everybody has these nice seed starting pots at home. What would you use if you were somebody at home and wanted to try this out?
Egg cartons, the cardboard or paper egg cartons. You can use that, punch a hole on the bottom to make sure it doesn't, when you water, it doesn't drown your little seedlings. Like that, when you're done, you can just cut them out individually and plant the whole thing. You don't have to worry about disturbing the roots, and they're ready to go.
That's pretty cool.
Another one I read online, take the toilet paper, empty toilet paper or paper towel rolls, and you cut them, I guess maybe 5 inches, crimp one end, maybe staple it, put your dirt inside, and then you put your little seeds inside.
And if as long as it's paper, it can go straight in the ground. Make it out of newspaper. Yeah, biodegradable. And the advantage of putting like just a couple of seeds in each little pot is if you put them all, like I've made the mistake of putting them all like in one container, and then they all start, and then you have a hard time separating them from each other. So this isn't just an easy way that ANPP can put these small seedling pots, once they really take off, put them in 4-inch pots, and if they're bigger plants, we can bump them up into 1-gallon pots. So we encourage you all to take advantage of the seeds you have of your native plants. If you think you want to try growing some at home, ANPP has a good surplus of older seeds. We're not sure of the fertility, but if you're willing to take a chance with us, we'd love to have you have a satellite propagation. As long as we just ask that you share your starts with friends. You can even bring them back here for either ANPP to sell, or please, if you want to go into the business, we encourage you to do that too. We'd love some competition. Thanks y'all, and keep growing native.
Au revoir.
So we were able to pot up this many trays, and we have some Amsonia, Asclepias incarnata swamp milkweed, baptisias, giant milkweed. And we started these early in November because we found that it takes a while for them to get started. So we will keep them in the greenhouse because they really do need the heat and the water. So we will set the timers to do this. But if you're doing this at home, you might want to just have them in a nice warm sunny area with some water. We've also started a bunch of containers of buckeye. They look, these big buckeye seeds that someone picked up from under their tree at home, and started up a few dozen of these, some in containers and some in 1 gallons, because they make a big taproot. And they're outside because, well, first of all, native plants, these will take a while, but they are used to growing outside by themselves. And so don't hesitate to try things on your own. A lot of these things, we don't know exactly the optimum way to propagate them. And so when we've been successful, that's when you find it at our sales. And if we haven't, we keep going back to the drawing board, talking to other growers, sharing experiences, and hopefully you can share those with us too. And as our last step, we've got our trays being watered in the greenhouse, and Sam does wear a mask.